where information, communication, technologies and systems reign supreme. Their role in enhancing our national security cannot be underestimated. ICT competence are the backbone of modern defense systems, enabling nations to bolster their readiness, their surveillance, and communication capabilities. However, as we harness the power of ICT for national security and development, we encounter a formidable adversary, the challenge of cybersecurity. Cyber threats pose a grave risk, targeting our critical infrastructure, targeting our financial technology, intelligence, military operations, and essential services. To address these challenges, ladies and gentlemen, we must constantly evaluate the emerging security risk. We must review them. We must update our strategic policies to foster national development. We have to fortify our digital borders. We have to shield our critical infrastructure and safeguard sensitive defense data and systems.
Has got the digital superhighway as a standalone thematic area in our Kenya Kwanza plan, on the basis of which everything else from a policy perspective is anchored. And this was deemed so because ICT is not just an enabler to all the facets of our plan, but it is also a critical success factor for Kenya as a country moving forward. And in that regard, to operationalize the digital superhighway, informed by the mandate of the Ministry of ICT, we have been charged with the responsibility of operationalizing integral facets of the digital superhighway. For purposes of clarity, we are charged with the responsibility of rolling out 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, so that those parts of the country that had hitherto not been connected get reliable and stable internet connectivity. In the same vein, we are establishing and operationalizing a total of 25,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots spread evenly all over the country to facilitate those who are operating at the bottom of the economic pyramid to access free internet. For a start, we are focusing on markets, we are focusing on bus terminali. Markets, because that is where our mothers and sisters involved in itinerary trade are domiciled. And we want to facilitate internet connectivity so that they can leverage on technology for purposes of e-commerce. We are establishing a total of 1,450 digital hubs within the villages. In each and every ward in this country, the ward being the lowest administrative unit within our administrative setup, we are going to have a digital laboratory. And the objective here is twofold. One, we need to empower our youth by way of digital skills so that we can facilitate optimal uptake of the ICT infrastructure that we are introducing. We must have a commensurate level of ICT skills. But next, and most fundamentally, our primary objective is to create jobs for the youth. We no longer have the white-collar jobs. And if they exist, they are limited, if not insignificant. So the only horizon where we have got an abundance of opportunities is the digital space. So we are pursuing digital jobs for our youth within that space. That's why we are setting up the village digital hubs. And we are aware that we need to engage with certain integral stakeholders in this regard. We have already reached out to members of the National Assembly so that through that partnership between the national government and the National Assembly, the members of parliament can give us the facilities where we are going to deploy the devices. As a ministry, we are going to deploy the devices, provide the training for free, and also simultaneously reach out to global technological companies to get digital jobs for our youth. It sounds too good to be true, but that is part and parcel of President Ruto's digital transformation agenda, that the only way we can empower our youth is through the digital space, by way of digital jobs. But we have also managed to digitalize a whopping 13,382 services, government services, which are now available virtually, technologically, on the eCitizen platform. And this is against a target of 5,000 services that we had envisaged to digitalize. That is the direction we are going, that we are going to run a paperless government moving forward. We are going to have services available technologically, and Kenyans will no longer have to physically visit government service offices to consume the services. They can enjoy the services from the comfort of wherever they are. Proactively is the issue of handsets, devices for purposes of inclusivity. So again, proactively as a government, under the leadership of His Excellency the President, we have moved forward as a government to ensure that we partner with the private sector and the telecommunication company to embark on local assembly of cheap, smart-enabled telephones, which will be rolled out in the Kenyan market within the next 3 days. In fact, to be precise, by Monday next week, we'll be rolling out the first set of cheap, locally assembled smartphones in the Kenyan market, going for a unit cost of $40 for purposes of inclusivity. The other issue that comes to mind, ladies and gentlemen, is whether or not the data that comes into the hands of government, data owned by the public but is in the hands of government, is private on one hand or secure on the other.